we've been doing nothing but talking about businesses on this channel for months now. We need to get a little bit more unhinged.
We're ready. We got prepared for the unhinged in the previous video.
Idaho Bunny Bash. That time in 1981 when a bunch of Idaho farmers were having their crops eaten by jackrabbits, and they came to the very logical conclusion that the only way to handle this was to grab a bunch of baseball bats and treat it like it was the opening scene to the Gangs of New York. Okay, and just so we're clear, this is not the first time this has happened. This is just the last time that this happened, okay? Farmers and jackrabbits have been having turf wars with.
You just start taking bats and just start whacking them. I mean, I know you gotta do what you gotta do, but I feel like having a pew pew might be a little bit more a little you know, what would you call it? You know, it's just fast and quick. You know, humane, more humane a way of going at it. I don't know. Yeah, they went bunny clubbing. Yeah, efficient or humane, you know, way to go at it. You know,
each other for centuries. And we're gonna get to all of it right after word from our sponsor.
If it's like one hit.
Look at my new carry gun.
Where did you get the new Canic Radiant?
They sent it to me.
No, they sent it to me. That's my new carry gun.
I could have my old one.
Whoa!
What am I supposed to do with this?
It's so tiny.
This video is brought to you by Delete Me, okay? Super simple business model. You give them money, they turn around and they make sure the data brokers on the internet aren't selling your personal information.
Okay, pretty much that QR code right there.
Free on the internet, but you have to make an account and give them your name and address and email address and all that stuff. They're basically just taking all that information, selling it to data brokers, and that's how they're able to offer that service for free. But when you have Delete Me, they monitor all the major data brokers whenever certification that you can get. So yeah, I've been using Delete Me for years. I was using them before they were paying me to talk about them. I'll probably be using them after they quit paying me to talk about them. If you want to give it a try, I'll have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, in order to understand the Great Bunny Bash, the first thing we got to realize is that we're not actually talking about bunnies, you know, like the cute little Easter bunnies. No, we're not talking about Peter Cottontail. We're talking about jackrabbits.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, you probably thought they were
the same response. Ew. Yeah, those aren't as cute, so that's okay.
Same or similar? They're not, okay? A jackrabbit is what happens when you take a normal rabbit, you give it a steady diet of steroids, then you get it hopped up on methamphetamines and Viagra and give it an unshakable hatred for agriculture. Your average jackrabbit weighs like 9 pounds and it eats a pound of food a day. All right, I'm gonna say that again, but a little bit slower. It eats 1/9 of its body mass in food every single day. And whatever it decides to eat, it's not just walking up and nibbling on the leaves. No, it picks a plant and then eats the entire plant all the way down to its roots so that...
Oh my gosh. Hi, Hunter. Hey, can I borrow one to eat the weeds in my yard, please? It's just a stump, but I don't feel like digging it out. Will they do that for me? Will they do that for me? Oh yeah, and also, are they like normal bunnies when it comes to the woohoo time and creating a whole squad of children, you know?
It never regrows ever again. Jackrabbits multiply and breed so fast.
Thank you for answering my question.
That nature literally cannot keep up. Every 10 years, jackrabbits experience a population boom, and it's because a jackrabbit can have anywhere between 3 to 8 offspring every single month. Okay, we've all heard the phrase breed like rabbits. Yeah, jackrabbits look at regular rabbits and are like, those are rookie numbers, watch this shit. They quite literally outbreed their natural predators, and once there's so many jackrabbits that the natural predators can't keep up, it reaches a critical mass, and then there's just jackrabbits everywhere. And when I say there's jackrabbits everywhere, I'm talking about like millions and millions of jackrabbits.
We're gonna have a freaking jackrabbit apocalypse if nothing's done about this. The rabbits are gonna take over the planet.
And if that wasn't bad enough, once the predators can't keep up with their population, they're basically unkillable because their preferred environment is a drought. You know, that weather condition that kills or drives away all other forms of life? Yeah, jackrabbits are sitting there like, this is fucking dope. I like this.
Yeah, nothing will come out and kill me because everything's gone. It's the perfect time to come out and cause disaster.
And then because the drought drives away all the predators or kills off all the predators, the jackrabbits multiply even more, and then there's even more jackrabbits. So not only do they have this like 10-year cyclical population boom, a population boom can also happen if there's a drought. Once they outbreed the natural predators, the only thing that keeps their population in check outside of human intervention is they eat everything in their ecosystem until they starve to death, or a disease happens and they're living in such close proximity because there's so many of them that the disease wipes them out. There's literally accounts from the 1800s during population outbreaks where people said it looked like the ground outside was moving, and wildlife biologists say that during population booms, there can be over 200 jackrabbits per square mile. All of them eating a pound of food a day and reproducing 8 more jackrabbits every 30 days. It's literally a plague.
Stop popping out the babies. Jackrabbit plague. Hey, I hope you like rabbit stew.
Houston, we have a problem.
Welcome back.
Because of this, humans have been killing jackrabbits in North America longer than we've had written history. Obviously, Native Americans have been killing jackrabbits forever to use their pelts, to eat them, whatever, that's perfectly fine. But during population booms, they would also have a practice of mass culling so that they could get a bunch of pelts and a bunch of food all at once. The way they would do this is they would get a bunch of the boys together. They would all stand in a big straight line at arm's length. They would grab their tomahawks or their spears or their bow and
It's like setting up for a freaking war zone. All right, everyone spread out. We're holding the line. Hold the line. The jackrabbits are approaching.
arrows or whatever, and they would slowly start walking through a field, driving these hundreds and thousands of rabbits one direction, and then slowly circle around until they formed a circle around a massive herd of rabbits, and then just kill all of them. Cannon, I know what you're thinking. Why would they kill them that way? Why not just shoot them with a bow and arrow? Okay, well, first of all, there's too many of them. I've only got so many arrows. Second of all, it's a target this big and it runs at 45 miles an hour. This is literally the only practical way to do it.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Okay, fast forward to the 1800s. You get westward expansion, people coming over, they're starting farms. What do farmers do? Farmers kill off natural predators, like coyotes. Why? Because they're eating my chickens.
I saw one of my chickens get captured by a coyote, and I watched him hop the fence with a chicken in his mouth. Oh. God damn these motherfuckers.
Okay, we can't have that, so the farmers kill off the coyotes. That makes sense. Only problem, guess what the coyotes aren't doing now? Killing off the jackrabbits.
From
now, the jackrabbit population explodes. And the only thing left to control it is disease or starvation, and starvation isn't going to happen because now, because there's farmers, there's way more food because the farmers are growing fucking.
So we gonna grab a rabbit and inject it with a disease, so that way when it goes, you know, to start doing the mating dance with the ladies, it's gonna pass on the disease. Are we gonna do that?
Food. So now there's more jackrabbits than there's ever been ever. It's just a plague of jackrabbits. They're absolutely everywhere. And now these millions of jackrabbits are eating all the farmers' crops. They can't have that because then they're not going to have any crops. So now the farmers got to kill off all the jackrabbits. It's like that little kid story, you know, the old lady that swallowed the fly and then she swallowed the spider to eat the fly and she swallowed the bird to eat the spider. Sorry.
What is this? What is that story? Swallowed a bird to eat the spider, then gonna swallow a cat to eat the bird, and we're like, what? What?
I've been reading my kids too many bedtime stories. Anyways,
what is
and it
that
wasn't
bedtime
just the
story?
Crops, it was also eating all the feed for the cattle and the horses because jackrabbits also eat hay. And when jackrabbits eat hay, they eat it from the bottom where they can reach, and then they eat out the bottom of a giant pile of hay, and then the whole thing can fall over and crush somebody. So that's dangerous. And then once the jackrabbits do get into the hay that they don't eat, they piss and shit all over, so it ruins all of it. So not only are the jackrabbits eating all the crops,
they're douchebags! Hello?
they're also potentially starving off all the livestock. If so facto, the rabbits gotta go. So the farmers looked at what the Native Americans did, and they're like, okay, that's a pretty good fucking idea. Over time, they refined the process a little bit. They didn't just make a big circle around the rabbits. They'd put up a fence and then basically form a phalanx like the 300 Spartans, and then walk them into the fence and then club them all to death.
We fight.
We're going clubbing.
Single, impenetrable unit.
And from here, it kind of turned into like a community event whenever there was a rabbit drive, like all the people show up.
Why does this eerily sound like Easter egg hunting? All right, go find a jackrabbit and start slapping it. It's your reward. Release the children. Let's go find the eggs. It was like you release them all at once, and that picture made me think about it. Like, look at it.
From here, it kind of turned into.
Look, it looks like children waiting, and like, okay, kids, all right, go find your eggs now. And they all start running, you know.
Like a community event whenever there was a rabbit drive, like all the people show up, they bring their wives, their kids, the sons, maybe the daughters help. The wives are off on the sideline getting the picnic ready so everybody can eat after they kill all these rabbits because everybody's tired from swinging a club for an hour straight, and it just becomes a communal thing.
Bring your dogs.
And this is how the jackrabbit population in the western states of the United States of America stayed in check for over 100 years. Like, I went back and dug through old newspapers, and pretty much since newspapers have been mainstream or like in common circulation, there's been articles about what is now known as a rabbit drive, aka culling the rabbit population in the western states dating back to the early 1800s. All the articles back then are like one of two things. They were just letting the community know how well the rabbit drive went, and since cameras weren't super common back then, they would literally just draw pictures. Or they were announcing an upcoming rabbit drive to get volunteers to help them get rid of all these fucking rabbits, and you can really tell it was written in like the 1800s because there's just zero fat. There's no filler words, nothing in these ads in the paper. Quote, rabbit drive, Duster, Tuesday. A rabbit drive will be held at the Duster community beginning early Tuesday morning, according to an announcement from that place. The drive will begin at Pete Duke's place.
That's all I need. Do not elaborate on anything. Just tell me straightforward what it is. No explanation in between, unless it needs it, you know? Don't fluff it up. Tell me in the fewest words possible.
Meat on a bun with nothing. Add ketchup if you want. I couldn't care less.
Literally, just grab your axe handles and show up to Pete's place. We're beating the shit out of rabbits. And this worked for like 100 years. It was just part of life. You're a farmer out on the prairie one day. You look out your window and it looks like the prairie's moving because there's millions of jackrabbits. Then you go look at your crops. Your crops are gone. So you call up the boys, you grab your axe handles, and you go play whack-a-rabbit. Okay, there's nothing malicious to it. They didn't necessarily enjoy it. It was just straight up, this is what I've got to do to feed my kids. I'm gonna do it. Okay, occasionally was there the one farmer that maybe enjoyed it a little bit too much, like he lost too much of his crop and he's pissed, or he's going through a divorce and needs to let off some steam or something. I don't know, probably.
You get that the pitchforks and torches.
But at the end of the day, what do? I mean, we were killing rabbits. He enjoyed killing the rabbits a little bit too much. Not much you can do about it, you know, just make him know, don't let your kids go over to his house to play with his kids. Like, move on. For the most part, it was just people doing what they had to do to survive. And then the farmers took another thing from the Native Americans, and they didn't just leave a giant pile of dead rabbits. No, they used them as best they possibly could. They skinned them, they used their pelts, they ate them, they fed them to their chickens, they fed them to their hogs. They got every ounce out of that animal that they possibly could. But then in the 1930s, things
that's how it usually should be. I mean, that's what, like, the Native Americans did, right? They would use every part of that animal. Every part was used, and that way nothing went to waste, you know? Instead of just having a pile of dead rabbits, you know?
Started to change because there was the biggest jackrabbit population boom ever. And that is because of the Dust Bowl, aka a massive drought that lasted for years. And what's the environment that jackrabbits thrive in? A drought. It also kills off the natural predators, so the jackrabbit population just fucking explodes. To give you an idea of how many jackrabbits there were, the Wichita Beacon in 1935 reported an estimated 8 million jackrabbits in 30 counties. Around the same point in time, from another newspaper article I found in 1934, it was estimated that a single jackrabbit would do $10 worth of crop damage every single year. And that's in 1934 money, which is $250 today. So you've got 8 million rabbits in 30 counties. 250 times 8 million, that's $2 billion worth of crop damage a year. And that's just in one section of one state. And to make things even worse, you know what else is going on during the Dust Bowl? The Great Depression. People are already desperate, aka these rabbits gotta go. But it's not that simple anymore because something else happened in the 1930s. In the 1930s is when animal rights became professionalized. This is when you had humane societies and animal rights groups popping up, aka Industrial Revolution has happened. The quality of human life has risen so high that you can now make a living bitching about how other people make a living. Newspapers are now much more prevalent. Radio's now mainstream. Information is traveling so much faster than it ever has in human history. Because of this, people that are completely disassociated from the issue and don't understand the issue are now hearing about the issue, and they're developing very strong opinions and feelings about this issue. And when these people that have never seen a jackrabbit hear that farmers are beating jackrabbits to death with axe handles, they're not picturing a jackrabbit, you know, this 9-pound agricultural terrorist running around eating 1/9 of its body weight in crops every single day. No, they're picturing cute little Peter Cottontail and a big mean farmer with an axe going out there like a barbarian. And then
I mean, actually, I would be sad too. I pictured the little cute bunny getting, clubbed
They hear that after the farmers kill all the rabbits, they're skinning them and using their skin, and then they eat them, and then they feed all the meat to their hogs and their chickens, and they just absolutely lose their minds because they don't know that chickens are like actually vicious predators, literally the descendants of fucking T-Rexes. Okay, you know what hogs will eat? Literally fucking anything. You know what chickens will eat? Also basically pretty much anything, including other chickens.
Fish! Eat other fish! The marlins and the trout! What's he talking about?
Chickens literally
Eating
kill
fish,
other
I guess.
chickens, like to the point that it's a problem. You want to know who understands that problem and genuinely cares about it? Farmers. That's why in 1903 they created chicken glasses and had them patented. Okay, the farmers didn't do this because they thought it was cute.
What?
They didn't want their flock to have mad drip so they could flex on all the other chicken farmers. No, they did it because if they don't put the glasses on the chickens, they'll peck each other's eyes out. And then
I know, I've seen chicken clothes before. I've never seen chicken glasses. They had to put basically safety glasses on them so their eyes didn't get plucked out by the other chickens. Chickens are scary sometimes, I swear. That's terrifying. Oh my gosh, they're freaking T-Rexes in a tiny feather body.
And they made the glasses red so that the chickens couldn't see blood, because if one chicken gets hurt and is bleeding, the other chickens will swarm it and kill it. And if another chicken gets hurt during that swarm and that attack, then they'll attack that chicken. And
Dang, Trey, you right. If they see blood, they'll go insane. What? Hey, look at that weak guy. Let's kill him. Like, what? Hello? What's up, Civil Badger? Hi. This is why I punt chickens in Fable. Chickens live by prison rules. Hi, Moo. See, that's what I say. Chickens are terrifying.
And next thing you know, your entire flock of chickens have murdered themselves in a cage match. But these people don't understand this, nor do they care to try to understand it, so they just get their feelings hurt and get loud about it for no fucking reason. Which is infuriating because the farmers are literally doing what you're supposed to do. They're using the entire animal to the best that they can. That's exactly what the Native Americans did. And when you hear about the Native Americans doing it in like elementary school, it's like, oh my God, the Native Americans were such great people. When they had to kill a buffalo, they made sure to use every part of that buffalo. Farmers doing the same shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. They used every part of the thing. I was like, no, that's what I said, basically.
But when they do it, they're crazy assholes. And these people are voters, so the government's got to step in to try to make everybody happy. And what the government comes up with is, rather than hosting rabbit drives, they're going to have a bounty and they're going to put it out on these rabbits. Depending on which county or which part of the country you were in at this point in time, it was like 3, 4, or 5 cents per rabbit that you killed. And just for the record, they are still killing the rabbits. They're not like catching them alive and turning them in. No, they're killing them and either cutting off their scalps or their ears and turning in the ears to get a nickel. To be completely intellectually honest, the government didn't invent bounty programs in the 1930s. Jackrabbit bounties existed prior to that into like the mid 1800s, and they were used at like a local level to try to control the population to prevent a boom from happening. But this is the turning point where the government tried to like shift away from rabbit drives completely because of the high visibility and people getting their feelings hurt. And
is this where the rabbit foot came from? Like here's a lucky rabbit's foot. I don't want a foot on my keychain, thank you.
wanted people to pretty much exclusively use a bounty program. Okay, remember, this is the 1930s. This is the Great Depression. People are broke. So now, not only have you incentivized just the farmers to go out and handle the issue to save their farm, you've incentivized everybody that's starving and poor, which is everybody during the Great Depression, to go out and kill these rabbits. You know what a lot of those people aren't doing? They're not using all of the rabbit to the best of its capabilities. They don't really give a shit about animals as far as doing it as quickly and effectively as possible. So now you're going out, they're shooting rabbits. Maybe the rabbits are getting away. They're not getting a good kill shot. It's not a more humane option. But they don't know that because they probably don't understand guns either. They think that if a bullet touches you, it's like magic. You're instantly and painlessly dead, which is just not how it works. Because if you don't get a good kill shot, that animal could roam around for days or the rest of its life and die from infection months later. Whereas a sharp blow to the back of the head is actually much safer because there's not a bunch of people roaming around shooting fucking guns everywhere. And it's actually more humane because it just kills the animal pretty much instantly and it's painless, which is why it's still literally the preferred method of killing a rabbit in the manual on how to process a rabbit to this day. You don't believe me? Fuck it, I'll pull it up. What do we got here? Oh, percussive blow to the head. Position the rabbit. Hold the rabbit by its hind legs. Use a heavy but easy to handle object. IG, a club or iron piping. Hit the rabbit on the top of the head just behind the ears. make sure it's dead. The farmers have literally been doing this the correct, most humane way possible for over 100 years, but to these people that don't understand the issue, that operate on feelings instead of facts, it feels more humane to have a bunch of random fucking people that are starving and poor roaming the countryside with guns, shooting at targets this big, traveling at 45 miles an hour is safer and more humane than a bunch of farmers, aka professionals, getting together, forming a phalanx, and killing the rabbits as humane.
When I pictured them, when he said something about the circle, like getting them all within the fence, like in the circle of the fence and stuff, I pictured, you know, some space in between the rabbits. I didn't think it was a whole freaking sea of them. I thought there'd be like a little bit of space, but no, you go walk with like in the rabbits. Oh my gosh.
Okay, just so we're on the same page, the job was getting done for free and more effectively by the farmers, but the government wanted to make people feel better, so they stepped in with an alternative solution where it cost money, taxpayer money, and got the job done less efficiently and less humanely. Fucking great job. Terrific.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
And you guys are never going to believe this. It doesn't actually fucking work. Why? Because the government literally runs out of money. I found an account from a singular county that was paying a 5-cent bounty. They had to quit paying the bounty and call it off after they had 1 million rabbits turned in and they ran out of money. And I found multiple accounts of this all over the country. Once the government's ran out of money, the farmers were like, okay, well, the problem's not solved yet, and I'm not going to let this rabbit eat all the food so I can't feed my kids and let it kill off all my cattle. We're gonna go solve the problem. And that's exactly what they did. They got the boys together, they grabbed their clubs, they set up a fence, and then they killed all the rabbits. And then the journalists started showing up, and then the animal rights activists that don't live in the area and don't understand the problem started hearing about it, and it hurt their feelings, so they got involved.
Hey, how about you? We swap places. You live here, I live where you are. Let me know how that works out for you. You're gonna change your mind a little bit. Look, I don't like, taking out of animals or anything, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, unfortunately. And at least it's humane, At least it's a humane process of what they're doing.
Started criticizing and causing problems for the farmers, or trying to get them to quit. And the farmers said, okay, fuck it, fine. You don't want us to kill the rabbits. We'll catch them and we'll mail them to your state and they can fuck up all your shit.
There we go.
That's exactly what they did. They caught a fuck ton of rabbits and they tried to ship them to the other part of the country where jackrabbits didn't live so they could deal with the problem. But animal wild.
So let's just spread the problem. You know what? That's petty and I love it. I love it.
Life Services winded up putting a stop to it. And for the next 50 years, this becomes the pattern, right? The jackrabbit population explodes. The farmers go out, they do what they got to do. A bunch of people that don't understand the issue, hear about the issue, get super strong feelings, get really butthurt about it. The farmers pretty much tell them to fuck off. They kill all the rabbits. Then 2 weeks later, nobody actually cares because those people didn't actually care in the first place.
How cute does an animal have to be before you care if it dies to feed you?
Which brings us to the Great Idaho Bunny Bash of 1981. Okay, it's 1981. As far as the issue goes, basically nothing has changed. The jackrabbit population booms every 10 years or so. The farmers got to go out, handle the issue to protect their crops. The only thing that has really changed is now we have television and news. Information now travels much further, much faster, and there's video footage of it. That and capitalism has raised the standard of human living so high that not only can one person make a living bitching about how other people make a living, they can actually go out and found a multi-million-dollar organization, and they can hire a bunch of other people, and they can band together and produce nothing for society, and then turn around and spend all of their life bitching about how the people that do produce shit for society are doing their job. So in Mud Lake, Idaho in 1981, when there was a jackrabbit population boom and they were eating all the farmers' crops, the farmers who are, 40, 50, 60 years old and have already done this 4, 5, 6 times over the course of their life go, it's time to do the thing again, that thing that I've done my entire life and my dad did his entire life and my granddad did his entire life. Call up the boys, bring out the baseball bats and the fence. We got to get rid of these rabbits. So they put out the call in the newspaper.
Wonderful family outing.
Hey, if you want to help get rid of all these rabbits and save our farms, show up at Cletus's farm on Saturday at, whatever time. But remember, news now travels faster and further, so people from out of the community are hearing about this. You've got people coming from hours away, from cities, to come out and help with this rabbit drive and kill these rabbits, and some people are just showing up to watch. Okay, and I know what some people are thinking. Why on earth would you do that? Who would want to go...
making this a sport? Hey, let's go watch the the bunny bash would
watch farmers kill a bunch of innocent little bunny rabbits. Pretty much everybody, man. This is the 1980s, okay? They didn't grow up with the internet. They didn't have YouTube. They've got TV, and it only has like 10 channels. These people didn't grow up watching Live Leak. So when they hear that a bunch of farmers are grabbing baseball bats and having a Battle of Thermopylae reenactment against some jackrabbits, fuck yeah, they want to go watch. So that's what happens. The farmers put out the call, and hundreds of people show up. They got like 400 or 500 people showing up with golf clubs and baseball bats to actually help them. And then they've got hundreds of people standing off to the sidelines just being spectators. People are bringing their kids. They're having fucking barbecues and picnics off to the side. It becomes an event. Then the animal rights groups hear about it and they show up.
Wait.
Nope.
Is there no way we can get rid of him?
Not without cause, Michael.
I have cause. It is because I hate him.
In addition to the people that just want to spectate and the people that want to help out, other people from all over the...
Okay, I gotta pause the video because I have a tiny dog that is being very aggressive right now. Oh my God, is clawing me, literally jumping in my face, like paws on my shoulders in my face, staring at me like a freaking psycho.
This time on Dragon Spit Z, our heroes have been gravely weakened by the enemy. Will they be able to fight through and win this battle?
Oh, just give up already. This fight is already over. Can't give him now. Everyone needs me. Hey. You got those beans?
No, but I have something better. I made it just in case of an emergency. Here. This energy GamerSupps is the copium flavor. It has 100 milligrams of caffeine per serving and 8 ounces of water. It's even sugar-free and keto-friendly. Woo! I feel more energized than ever.
Let's finish this.
What? What is this power? This GamerSupps energy. Its power level is going to be over 9,000! Taste the power of these subs, Spitza. Me. No!
Woo, you really saved me back there. Hey, so that drink was really good. Is there a way I can get some without the caffeine?
Absolutely. You can always get the caffeine-free options to enjoy the taste without the added energy. There's also the AFK versions to aid in a natural sleep cycle. If you live in the US, you can get it with melatonin. And they also have a creatine version for your workouts.
Wow, that's so many options. I'm going to go home and order some now.
When you order GamerSupps, make sure to use code SPIT at checkout and you'll save 10% on your purchase.
The heroes went home victorious and proceeded to order more GamerSupps for any future battles. See you next time on Dragon Spit Z.
Now he should be fine. Now he is good. All right. Let's get back to the video.
Country hear about this. There's a mink farmer in Iowa that gets a hold of these farmers and is like, hey, I'll buy the carcasses for 15 cents a carcass and I'll feed them to my minks. There's also a couple of Nigerian businessmen that get a hold of the farmers and they're like, hey, we'll pay you, like 15 cents per rabbit and then you can process the meat and we'll refrigerate it and ship it back home to Nigeria to feed people. To which the farmers are like, cool, and then we're gonna take all the money we make from killing these rabbits, which is something we already have to do, and then we're gonna give it back to our community to fund our community projects. They're literally making the best out of a bad situation. And just to be clear, it's not like they get together one time and kill off hundreds of thousands of rabbits. This is like a process that takes a little bit of time, so it takes place multiple events over the course of weeks or months. Well, after the first event, all these animal rights groups leap into action and basically launch a massive PR campaign trying to paint the farmers as these genocidal maniacs. They immediately rebrand what has been known as a rabbit drive for hundreds of years as the Great Idaho Bunny Bash. They intentionally choose the word bunny because it's the cutest, nicest, most sensitive word that you could possibly apply to a
Yeah, we gotta make everyone feel bad about it,
jackrabbit, and even then, the word bunny doesn't really fit to jackrabbit. They then file an injunction against the farmers, trying to prevent them from killing the rabbits. They go to court. The local judge is basically like, I mean, these rabbits have to go. Like, it has to happen.
One way or another.
What do you want them to do about it? And eventually, the animal rights group was like, well, fine, but we need to find a more humane way to kill the rabbits. And the court and the farmers both are like, okay, yeah, game. I don't want the rabbits to suffer. I don't enjoy this. I just need them dead so they don't eat my crops. If you have a more humane way of doing this, I'm all ears. What ideas do you got? And if you don't...
Yeah, if you want us to change something, tell us what, like, how to do it. If you want us to change something, how do you want us to do it? What's your answer?
Don't believe me, I actually have some quotes. This is from a farmer by the name of Orville Twitchell. He's one of the guys that's kind of spearheading these rabbit drives. And fair warning, he actually literally looks like Elmer Fudd, so I don't think that's helping him very much. But looks aside, he really is just a farmer trying to save his crops that wants to kill these rabbits as humanely as possible. I actually found some quotes from him where he said, and I quote, "I can still hear the squeals, but I had to get over the feeling because we did what we had to do. You're swinging a club dressed in layers in below freezing temperatures, and it didn't end until they were all dead. Sometimes 30 to 45 minutes to dispatch an entire pen. No question, it was physically exhausting. Was it gruesome? Yes. Was it necessary? Yes." So the farmers genuinely are open to any ideas of how to do this more humanely and more effectively. The animal rights groups then immediately recommend poisoning them with strychnine.
What?
To which the
Poisoning? So they can suffer as they die? And then people are eating them too, so I don't think we should be poisoning them. It's a food source. How is that better?
farmers are like, fucking no, that's a horrible idea for multiple reasons. One, if I'm putting poison out in the wilderness, I have no idea what's gonna eat it, but I do know it's not just gonna be jackrabbits. My dogs, my cattle, my horses, coyotes, literally any other animal can walk up and eat this poison, and I'm not trying to kill them. Secondly, if I poison them, I can't sell them for starving kids in Africa to eat or these minks up in Iowa, so the carcasses are going to waste. That's not good.
Yeah.
And thirdly, strychnine is definitely not more humane than a sharp blow to the back of the head. When you poison an animal with strychnine, first it gets muscle aches, and then it starts having seizures that are induced by light, motion, and sound, and it basically dies of exhaustion from having too many seizures over the course of hours or days. That's definitely not more humane than me walking up and bonking a rabbit on the head. That's fucked up. We're not doing that. In a shocking turn of events,
I wonder, they're like, it's because we don't see it happen. Well, I mean, unfortunately, your idea is bad.
it's actually the farmers in court fighting on behalf of what's best for the rabbits and not the animal rights groups. It's almost like they don't actually care and they're just virtue signaling to feel good. The animal rights groups, realizing that they just got made to look like assholes, come back with a backup idea. They come into court and they're like, hear me out, gas chambers. I'm not kidding.
Like
I have no words.
the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
To which the farmers are like, rabbit concentration camps. You want to recreate rabbit Auschwitz. That's what you guys want. You know what? Fuck it. Fine. We'll give it a shot. So at their next rabbit drive, rather than putting up a fence and a pin and driving the rabbits into the fence and then clubbing them, they dug a giant fucking hole and drove the rabbits into the hole, threw a tent over the top, and filled it with carbon monoxide. It didn't really work. It didn't kill all the rabbits. The rabbits that did die actually died from being crushed by the weight of all the other rabbits on top of them, and it was just way less humane, so they abandoned that idea. This is now garnering national attention. Everybody's watching, so the governor gets involved, and the governor and the farmers go to the head veterinarian of Idaho and ask him what is the most humane way to get rid of these rabbits. And the head veterinarian says a sharp blow to the back of the head, just like the fucking textbook says.
Thank you.
So that's it. Case closed. The local judge rules in favor of the farmers. They go back to hosting their rabbit drives, or as the newspapers claimed, make the fur fly again. At which point, the animal rights activists learn something, they realize their mistake, and they move on with their lives. No, I'm just kidding. They actually go on a massive PR campaign to slander these farmers. The farmers wind up getting thousands of
Sorry, I had to take a second. I thought my dog got choked on his food. He's fine. The little one, he's fine.
hate mail letters and protesters showing up, and the animal rights groups.
I want to go back a little bit because I was a little distracted. Because he made he was eating and made a choking sound and then stopped eating. I'm like, sir? Sir? Because then he crawled in my lap. I'm like, I need to know if you're breathing. So he licked my nose, so he's fine. I think he got scared though. So he's just chilling in my lap. I'm glad you're okay, puppy. Good boy. Good boy. All right, so sorry, I gotta re-listen to that.
I'm just kidding. They actually go on a massive PR campaign to slander these farmers. The farmers wind up getting thousands of hate mail letters and protesters showing up, and the animal rights groups actually had people dress up as people that were going to help with the rabbit drives and go into the pens and try to fuck with them. They then proceeded to go to the media and paint the entire affair as horrifically as humanly possible. According to intel from their spies, people were playing bunny baseball and there were little kids inside the pens killing rabbits. First of all, yeah, kids are involved. I know that's shocking to some people, but farm kids do farm shit, and this is farm shit. It's a way of life for these people. That's not a big deal. Secondly, trying to tell the entire country that they're playing bunny baseball like they're turning it into some sick game is fucking disgusting, okay? If they had hundreds of volunteers showing up.
So would it still be bunny baseball if I used a shovel instead? What sport would that turn into then?
That weren't farmers, is there a possibility that one asshole grabbed a rabbit, tossed it in the air and said, "Hey Jimmy, catch," and Jimmy fucking Babe Ruth that motherfucker? Yeah, absolutely. That probably happened. But calling that bunny baseball like it's an organized sporting event, like they're literally got the bases set up and they're fucking underhanding jackrabbits to a 12-year-old, and if he strikes out 3 times, they strap it to a tee and let him fucking clock it so he can run the bases and turn it into a game, absolutely didn't happen. But that's just me operating off of common sense and growing up around farmers my entire life and knowing that these people, A, wouldn't do that, and B, wouldn't allow it to happen in their proximity. That's not enough. I need actual evidence. So I went back and I scoured through newspapers at the time, and guess what I found out? After the animal rights groups started showing up in mass as protesters, you know who else showed up? The sheriff's department. And you want to know what the sheriff's department did? They, A, kept the peace, but before every rabbit drive, they told the crowd of volunteers, "We're watching, and if we see any of you doing anything cruel to these animals, we will charge you with a misdemeanor for animal cruelty."
Good.
Guess how many citations got issued? Fucking zero. The entire thing is just a massive propaganda campaign to paint these farmers like they're psychotic assholes when they're the exact opposite. And unfortunately, it's pretty effective, at least in the court of public opinion, and the farmers didn't really do themselves any favors because they don't have any PR training. They're 40, 50, 60-year-old farmers out in Idaho.
And they don't want to do this. It's the thing, like what he quoted from that one farmer guy. They don't want to do it. They don't like, you know, having to, but they have to. If they don't, then the jackrabbits are going to take over, and then we're not going to get any food, etc. So yeah, it's the only way to actually save their farms. I mean, can't go out and euthanize all the jackrabbits, you know. And again, the jackrabbits are used for multiple purposes afterwards, so it's feeding and clothing, you know. Yeah, but they have to. Sometimes you gotta do the things you don't want to do. You know, unfortunately, but it's just how it works sometimes.
They've got journalists and cameras in their face, and when they're asked a question, they say the truth and they say how they feel. Orville Twitchell, the guy from court that's like spearheading this entire thing, when he got interviewed by the journalists and they're like, "How can you have kids out here doing this? Blah, 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 blah." Them not understanding, like, farm kids do farm stuff. They help me on the farm. This is their job too. They're gonna have to do this when they get older. It's been a way of life for generations. They don't get that. So Orville Twitchell just said the truth. He said, and I quote, "I and 3/4 of the rest of the people in the West would rather see kids in that sagebrush, even if they are beating jackrabbits, than have them sitting in front of the boob tube watching sex movies or in Idaho Falls drinking beer and smoking pot."
Amen. 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 Amen.
So they're kind of inadvertently playing into the stereotypes, which allows these people to spin the entire thing and basically rewrite history. Like, looking through all this, I was finding academic papers about the history of rabbit drives and how fucked up they were. And just, the academic papers are insane. You know what? I'm actually going to read you part of the abstract from one of these academic papers so you can see how fucking stupid these people are. Quote, "Great Plains responded to eternal threats from the environment by reasserting masculine domination of nature. In contrast to wealthy big game hunters who primarily used their writing to project their manhood, it was through photographs that drives were practiced, shared, and understood. The camera served to eternally fix the male participants as victors in a staged battle between man and beast."
But why they even try to make it so elaborate?
Wait, there's more.
Indeed, we cannot understand the rabbit drive without understanding its visuality, seeing it as a self-constructed act of masculine theater that was always intended to be observed. In doing so, the rabbit drive shows how seeming crises in the environment have been creatively repositioned as opportunities to, in fact, protect, reinforce, and exalt masculine.
So constructed act of masculine theater was always intended to be observed. Doing so, the rapid drive shows how seeming crisis in the environment have been creatively repositioned. Opportunities, in fact, protect, reinforce. That's a lot of words. I'm trying to like translate into short terms that I would understand better. We can't understand without seeing it. Basically, the entertainment of the bunny bashing as it should be observed. What? Basically, in doing so, the rapid drive shows how seeming crises in the environment have been creatively repositioned as opportunities to, in fact, protect, reinforce, and I need to copy and paste this and say, can you simplify this, please? Like, just stop. You're trying to sound smart with all the large words. Like, indeed. Seeing it as a self-consciously constructed act of masculine theater that was always intended to be observed. In doing so, the rapid drive shows how a seeming crisis in the environment have been creatively repositioned as opportunities to, in fact, protect, reinforce, and exalt masculine control over nature and society. I don't know what you're saying to me. Stop trying to act like you are smart. Just say the words so I can understand you better and make it make sense.
Control over nature and society.
Beep bop boop bop.
Yeah, dickhead, I'm sure that's exactly what happened. Back in the 1800s when farmers were having their entire livelihoods fucking destroyed. So they got together and said, guys, what are we gonna do about this? And one of them said, I think we have to kill all these rabbits. I guarantee.
Don't try to understand. You don't need brain damage. Well, my brain already hurt, so I'm just adding to it. Showing this is satire, I would believe it. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no.
Another farmer said, oh my God, Cletus, what a great idea.
Yeah.
And we should take pictures and tell everybody about it. That way we can reassert our masculine domination over society and our wives remember who the fucking bosses are. Because apparently there's nothing more manly than killing a fucking rabbit.
It's false. No way. Not this time. No.
If there's one thing that I've learned about farmers growing up around them my entire life is that they're super concerned with like big abstract societal ideas. They're definitely not just normal people that are trying to get by and raise kids and have a family and go to church and be a productive member of society and feed the world. That's definitely not what they're up to. They're secretly getting together and plotting, having maniacal plans on how they can exercise their toxic masculine domination over society via killing bunny rabbits. That's exactly what the farmers are fucking up to. And you morons wonder why people are losing respect for academia when you publish stupid bullshit like this. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked and pissed off. Anyways, the Idaho farmers now have the green light from the local court to continue doing what they're doing, so that's exactly what they do. They keep hosting rabbit drives, they keep killing the rabbits, they keep saving their farms. Meanwhile, the animal rights groups continue to harass them and fuck with them and slander them all over the media.
Well, can we go back in time? Well, not really go back in time. Can we reverse something that was, you know, taken away, as in, can we take those rabbits again and go drop them off? I know that, you know, it said, hey, don't do this anymore, but can we just like change that again? Can we do that? Like, oh, you don't want us to beat the rabbits? Okay, how about you take care of them then? We're gonna drop them off at your doorstep, and I hope they have 8 million bunnies and eat all your little tiny garden of strawberries and peppers or something like that.
And then they take them to court again on an appeal, and they appeal them all the way up to the Supreme Court of Idaho. In the Supreme Court case, it comes out that they were having spies infiltrate as volunteers, gathering intel, and then they used all this supposed intel to basically slander the farmers and paint the whole thing as some barbaric event. They're telling the judge, like, they're playing bunny baseball, and they're having children do this, blah, 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 blah. To which the Supreme Court is like, are you guys playing bunny baseball? And the farmers are like, no. Okay, well, don't. And they're like, cool, okay. Are you having kids do this? To which the farmers were like, I mean, I'm not checking driver's licenses for ages. If some farmer or volunteer wants to bring their child out here to do this, they're more than welcome to do it. I'm not gonna stop them. And the judge is like, okay, well, let's just call it 12 years old. You gotta be 12 to participate. And the farmers are like, You got it. That's fine. From here, farmers win. They get the green light to continue. They continue the rabbit drives until they've solved the problem, and then the issue disappears into history. And I know what you're thinking. 1981 was like 40 some odd years ago. How come there hasn't been another major jackrabbit population boom? In addition to that, DNR and wildlife services are much more advanced in understanding about how ecosystems work, and they regulate the killing of predators of jackrabbits much more strictly. And all of this comes to allow a more natural control of the jackrabbit population. But that doesn't necessarily guarantee that a jackrabbit population boom will never happen again. And if it does, I'm absolutely positive the farmers will do whatever has to get done. And I'm also, unfortunately, absolutely positive that the animal rights groups and the academics will be right there talking shit and rewriting history the entire time. And that is the story of the Great Idaho Bunny Bash of 1981, aka a rabbit drive, something that had been happening on this continent for thousands of years, literally predating written history, that animal rights groups and academics then utilized to slander hardworking farmers that were doing nothing more than simply trying to get by. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. Links to both of those over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Quack.
I'm gonna be honest, this entire video started just because I saw a meme about the Bunny Bash of 1981 in Idaho, and I thought it was interesting or funny or crazy that like farmers were going out and beating up rabbits with baseball bats. And then the more I looked into it, I realized that it was just a giant hit piece on farmers that were literally just trying to survive, and it pissed me off.
The smile at the end is like, if he's smiling at the end after he said he was pissed off, that means he was really pissed off. Like, yeah, that pisses me off really bad. I'm glad he did a video on it too. I mean, because a lot of people don't know like the background of some things. So I mean, that's very informative, very educational. So I really like that video. Really like that video. Yeah, if you don't want us bashing the rabbits, what do you want us to do? Poison them. Okay, well, we can't. That's inhumane. What else do you want to do? Gas chamber them. That's also inhumane. Can you think of, do you know what humane means? Do you know what that means? Do you know what, these poison chambers, I combined them, poison and gas chambers do you know how they work? Do we need to explain that? Again, we don't want to do it, but we got to do what we got to do. Can we just release the bunnies into their yards? I want that to happen again. Because it's like, okay, you don't understand. We're going to make you understand. Here you go. You want to protect them. You want to keep them alive. Take care of them. Bye. That's your business now. Use poison. No, a different poison. No, not that poison. Well, what poison do you want? None of them's going to work anyway. I'm surprised they didn't suggest dig a hole and burn them. They got to kill them somehow, though. That's the thing. Are you talking about, like, alive? That would be the worst thing. Oh, that'd be awful. Yeah, I guess gas chambers are a type of poison chamber anyway. In a way. Yeah, I mean, they just want a feel-good solution. Yeah, I mean, just, you gotta look the other way. You gotta look the other way. I mean, again, it makes me sad, but you gotta do it. If you're trying to live, and you can't live without doing this, I'm gonna be doing that, okay? I'm gonna be out there bashing a bunny. Not the cute little bunnies, the jackrabbits. Yeah, allow more natural predators to deal with them, which is now what's happening, so cool. Like, are you gonna stop? See, here's the thing. Are you gonna stop a wolf from eating one? Are you gonna say, no, you're biting it, it's suffering, and stop that right now? Are you gonna go talk to the wolf? Wait, what's better? So, wolf, that's mean. Don't do that. It's got to. I hate it too, but it's got to. That's the thing. Oh my gosh.